After 3,000 years of peace, they looked up, and humanity was smiling. The stars shone, fleets drifted lazily between worlds, and civilizations went about their business with the comforting belief that war was a thing of the past. Across countless systems, leaders met, discussed trade, technology, culture, but never conflict. In the great council hall of the Zelvorians, one of the most advanced species in the Outer Rim, debate had become polite entertainment rather than urgent strategy. The hall's domed ceiling glowed with shifting holograms of the galaxy, showing each civilization in its steady orbit. "Still, it feels too calm," murmured Aelthar, the elder Zelvorian delegate. His translucent skin shimmered with worry. 3,000 years of peace. "Are we sure nothing waits in the void?" the younger delegates chuckled. "Aelthar, your caution is legendary. You worry about ghosts." "But ghosts can destroy empires," he replied sharply. His voice carried a tremor of unease. "We have relied on complacency for centuries. Our fleets have shrunk. Our defenses are basic. What if something beyond our sight has grown?" The other delegates waved dismissively. "Humans are gone. The Terrans left the galaxy long ago. No species could reach the scale they did back then. Even if they returned, they would not interfere." Ilthar's eyes narrowed. "And if they smile at us when they return?" A ripple of laughter passed through the hall. Far beyond the council hall, in the cold depths of space, the first anomaly appeared. Sensors of minor trading stations picked up unusual energy signatures drifting at the edge of the galaxy. Ships dispatched to investigate found nothing, just empty space. Then, on the outer rim worlds of the Varkesh, ancient ruins began to glow faintly. Alien historians rushed to study them. Each artifact pulsed with a quiet energy, almost as if it were alive. The Varkesh, who had not seen humans for millennia, shrugged. Perhaps remnants of a long-lost civilization, nothing to worry about. Yet quietly in hidden human observatories, satellites and probes scanned the galaxy. Tiny, unmarked, almost invisible ships drifted through the void, studying every civilization, every fleet, every communication. Humans had not abandoned the galaxy. They had merely withdrawn, watching, learning, and waiting. On a small, seemingly empty planet in the Sol system, the first human scouts prepared for a long mission. The planet's surface was dotted with strange towers, glinting towers of technology beyond any alien imagination. Humans moved with calm efficiency, checking equipment, calibrating sensors, and preparing ships that could move faster than light yet leave no trace. Captain Mara Duval stood on a hill looking up at the stars. Her brown eyes reflected the faint glow of distant suns. She smiled, a simple human smile but full of confidence. 3,000 years of peace," she said softly. "Let's see if anyone remembers us." Her crew laughed quietly. Humans, even after centuries away, still had that strange mix of patience and audacity. Every member of her team had trained for years, not just in combat but in science, diplomacy, strategy, and survival. They were ready to return, but not recklessly. The galaxy had changed. Humans had changed. Meanwhile, the council hall erupted into a debate as unusual readings grew across the sensors. Aelthar's eyes widened. Energy spikes in multiple sectors, and moving, not randomly, systematically, something approaches. The youngest delegate, a Zelvorian named Tyrex, chuckled nervously. "Maybe it's just meteors or energy storms, nothing serious." Aelthar shook his head. "Do not underestimate history. There are civilizations we have forgotten, or perhaps civilizations that have forgotten us." Outside, stars streaked across the void. The energy signatures, once dismissed as anomalies, began forming patterns. Patterns too precise to be natural. Alien fleets scrambled in confusion, trying to track the sources, only to find the signals shifting faster than any known technology. Back on Mara's planet, the human fleet, hidden among the rocks, behind clouds, invisible to every sensor, prepared to move. Ships the size of cities hovered silently, engines humming softly, cloaked from detection. Humans communicated using quantum channels that no alien could intercept. Lieutenant Harris, a young but brilliant human officer, looked at the displays. "They'll never expect us," he said. "They think 3,000 years of peace means weakness." "Exactly," Mara replied. "Peace doesn't breed weakness, it breeds patience and opportunity." Their first targets were not hostile. They were observation points, alien planets, trade hubs, council worlds. The humans did not plan to attack yet. They planned to be seen, to make the galaxy realize that the era of human absence was over. At the same moment, across hundreds of light years, alien civilizations detected a faint signal on their sensors. Nothing aggressive, just a ping. But it carried an unmistakable pattern, almost playful in its repetition. Fleets paused, scientists squabbled over interpretations, and leaders felt an unfamiliar unease. "What kind of species signals like this?" whispered one alien diplomat. "No species we know," another replied. It feels like a smile." The word spread quickly. At first it was dismissed as metaphor. But as more signals arrived, hundreds, then thousands, forming patterns across the galaxy, the realization grew. Someone, something was watching, and it was confident. Back with Mara, the humans prepared the next phase. Small observation vessels would leap ahead, entering alien space for reconnaissance. Each ship carried technology designed to study, not fight. They scanned fleets, learned communication codes, and quietly recorded defenses. Mara watched one of the ships disappear in a flash of light. It was the first human presence many civilizations had seen in centuries, and it was silent, invisible, and untouchable. "Remember," Mara said, addressing her team, "we are not here to destroy. We are here to remind them who we are." Her smile was calm, almost friendly, but in every glance, in every movement, there was power. Humans had returned, not as aggressors, but as something far more unsettling. Humans who could do anything but chose not to for now. The alien councils began to realize the truth. Small fleets that had been patrolling for decades were suddenly useless. Sensors could not track the ships that had already moved light years away. Communications attempted with unknown vessels failed repeatedly. It became clear, whatever returned to the galaxy, it was faster, smarter, and more organized than anything else. In the outer rim, fleets gathered near the edge of the galaxy, attempting to form a defensive line. Alien admirals barked orders, their crews scrambling. Yet each time they tried to intercept, the human ships had already moved, leaving behind perfect formations that were almost artistic. "These ships," one admiral muttered, "they are smiling at us." And they were. From a distance, human engineers had programmed the ship's movement patterns to form subtle shapes visible even across light years. To the aliens, the shapes looked like a simple curve, a grin stretching across the void. It was not hostile, not a threat, at least not yet. It was a statement, a human statement. The aliens stared at the empty reaches of space in shock, fear, and awe. Centuries of complacency had blinded them to one truth: humanity never truly disappeared. They had simply waited, patient, silent, and clever. And now, after 3,000 years, the galaxy was finally looking up. The last line of Part 1, and somewhere deep in the void, a human voice echoed across the quantum channels. In the outer rim, fleets of alien ships hovered nervously, their weapons idle but ready. Communications crackled with confusion. Each civilization watched as the strange formations of ships continued to move, patterns stretching across space like threads of light. It was not war, but it was a challenge the galaxy had never faced. Admiral Krath, a Varkesh commander, slammed his clawed hand against the command table. "They are not attacking," he growled. "They are playing with us." His subordinates exchanged nervous glances. "Sir," one finally said, "the formations, they resemble a grin. Not threatening, but mocking." Krath's eyes narrowed. "Humans," he whispered. The word felt strange on his tongue. Humans had not been part of galactic politics for 3,000 years. They were legends, stories passed down through history. Myths of a species so clever, so audacious, that even the largest fleets could not contain them. And now, somehow, humans were back. Far away, Captain Mara Duval watched the alien fleets on her display screens. Her ship hovered just outside detection range, cloaked and silent. She allowed herself a small smile. "They remember us," she said quietly to Lieutenant Harris. Harris shook his head in disbelief. "I can't believe how fast they are mobilizing." "They've been asleep for 3,000 years and still," his voice trailed off. Mara nodded. "They have never truly slept. They have only forgotten how to fear." The humans moved with purpose. Small observation vessels darted into alien space, collecting data on fleet positions, weapon ranges, and communication protocols. They were invisible, untouchable, and nearly untouchable to even the most advanced sensors. Every alien attempt to track them failed. On the planet Zoria Prime, the Council of Interstellar Leaders convened. The hall was tense, the air thick with worry. Representatives of every major civilization filled the chamber, their faces grim. "What is happening?" asked High Chancellor Alira of the Krell. Her long, flowing robes shimmered in the soft light. "Reports from the outer rim show formations moving faster than any known ship, and these signals, they are taunting us." "Yes," said Aelthar, his translucent skin flickering nervously. "We have not seen humans for centuries. Their return is unlike anything we could have imagined. They are not attacking, yet their presence unsettles every fleet. They are everywhere and nowhere." A younger diplomat interrupted. "Perhaps it is a test, a warning, or a game." Aelthar's eyes glowed faintly. "Humans do not need to attack to dominate. Remember history. Every time humans returned, they changed the galaxy, not through fear, but through intellect and strategy. We would do well to be cautious." Back in the void, the humans began the next stage. Observation vessels reported back, streaming data to the command center aboard Mara's flagship. Humans now knew every defensive system, every patrol route, and every communication protocol. The galaxy had grown complacent, the fleets were predictable, the mines predictable, even the governments predictable. Mara turned to Harris. "It is time to show them we are not gone, but we do not need to strike. They will see us, and that will be enough." Harris hesitated. "You mean just let them see the ships?" "Exactly," Mara replied. "They will panic, but not because we are violent. They will panic because we are humans, and humans are never simple to predict." The first encounter occurred at the edge of the Varkesh sector. A small human vessel emerged from stealth, its engines glowing faintly. Varkesh sensors detected it immediately. Their patrol fleet scrambled to intercept, weapons charging. "Identify yourselves," demanded Admiral Krath. The human ship did not respond immediately. Then slowly, the vessel projected a hologram visible across the void. A single human face, calm, smiling. The face was surrounded by the faint outline of a larger fleet moving behind it, ships appearing and disappearing faster than the Varkesh could track. The Admiral's voice trembled. What is this?" The human voice echoed clearly across the void. "Hello," it said simply. "We have missed you." The Varkesh fleet froze. The message was not a threat, but it carried undeniable confidence. The ships around the human vessel shimmered into view, each one capable of immense destruction, yet none fired. Their formation was precise, almost elegant, forming patterns that looked like smiles, waves, and symbols of peace. "They are smiling at us," whispered one Varkesh officer. "Yes," Krath muttered, "and somehow I feel afraid." Across the galaxy, similar encounters occurred. Human vessels appeared near council worlds, trade hubs, and fleet stations. Each appearance was deliberate, calculated, and highly visible. Humans did not attack. They only observed, only demonstrated their presence. And everywhere the same feeling spread: awe, confusion, fear, and admiration. At the human command center, Mara studied the reports. "They will not act rashly," she said. "They will watch, calculate, and wait. That is what humans do best, make them see the truth without firing a shot." Harris frowned. "The truth being that humans are back," Mara replied, "and stronger than anyone remembers. They will wonder what we want, what we will do, and whether they can survive us. And they will realize the answer is, everything depends on us." Meanwhile, alien scientists struggled to comprehend the humans' capabilities. Ships that seemed impossible, moving in patterns that defied physics. Signals that could not be decoded. Humans who did not speak the usual diplomatic language but conveyed intent in a way that unsettled every species. In a small lab on Zoria Prime, Dr. Ilara, a Krellian physicist, whispered to her assistant, "Their technology, it adapts, faster than anything we can calculate, faster than our fleets. We cannot predict their next move, and yet I do not think they will kill us. Not yet." Her assistant shivered. "Why not?" Ilara looked at the hollow projection of human ships dancing across the galaxy. "Because humans are clever. They do not need violence to dominate. They only need presence. They only need strategy." Back with Mara, the humans executed a subtle show of power. One of their vessels approached a major alien superweapon under construction. Within minutes, the human ship had disabled its core, rendering it harmless, without a single shot fired, without a single life lost. The aliens who rushed to confront them were too late. When the humans withdrew, the superweapon remained intact, but completely neutralized. Messages sent by the aliens carried disbelief, confusion, and a creeping sense of fear. "They can destroy us," said one diplomat, "yet they choose not to." "They do not need to," said Aelthar. That is humanity. As the hours passed, reports flooded in from every corner of the galaxy. Alien fleets were paralyzed, unsure whether to fight, flee, or negotiate. Humans moved like shadows across the void, always just out of reach, always demonstrating capability without cruelty. Even the most aggressive species began to hesitate. Plans to strike first were abandoned. Strategies to trap humans collapsed under the realization that they could not predict what humans would do next. And then the humans spoke again. Across the galaxy, a single message appeared on every communication network. "We are here. We see you. And we have learned everything about you." The words were simple, clear, human, and yet they carried a weight that shook every civilization. The message sparked panic but also admiration. Across council halls, alien diplomats whispered to each other, "They are not threatening. They are showing us their minds. They have patience," said one Krellian senator. "They have intelligence beyond measure. They play, and we are their audience." Captain Mara looked at her crew. "Phase 2 complete," she said. "They know we are here. They know we are capable. And they know that the galaxy has changed." Lieutenant Harris nodded. "Do you think they will fight us?" Mara shook her head. "No, not yet. They will fear us. They will respect us. And they will remember one truth. Humans do not need to fight to win." And somewhere in the distance, across the silent stars, fleets froze as human ships moved again, forming symbols and patterns impossible to ignore. Symbols of power, symbols of intelligence, symbols of patience. The galaxy realized with a chill of awe. 3,000 years of peace had lulled them into forgetting the most dangerous, most clever, most unstoppable species in the universe. Humans had returned. Humans were smiling. And the galaxy could do nothing but watch. The galaxy trembled, not with war, but with realization. 3,000 years of peace had lulled civilizations into complacency, but humans had returned. And they were not angry, not vengeful, and not even hurried. They were deliberate, patient, and terrifyingly clever. Captain Mara Duval stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Resolute, watching the stars shift. Each flicker, each distant glow, represented alien fleets scrambling, calculating, panicking, and admiring all at once. Humans were not invisible anymore. They were impossible to ignore. Reports are coming in from every sector, Lieutenant Harris said, his voice tense but excited. Every civilization, Zelvorians, Krellians, Varkesh, they're all frozen. They don't know whether to fight or flee. Mara nodded. Let them pause. That hesitation is the power humans always had. She smiled faintly. Sometimes, knowing you could strike is stronger than actually striking. In the outer rim, Admiral Krath of the Varkesh paced his command deck. Every communication, every fleet movement had been anticipated. Every attempt to intercept human ships had failed. His pride burned with frustration, yet even he could not deny the brilliance of it. They do not attack, he muttered to his officers. They show us what we are not, and it terrifies me. One of his lieutenants shook his head. They are smiling at us, sir. They do not even need to speak to dominate our minds. Krath's eyes narrowed. Then we will have to speak with them. We must know why return now. But before any delegation could be sent, another report arrived. Human vessels had entered multiple sectors simultaneously, moving faster than any known technology. Fleets scattered to respond, only to find nothing. The humans were everywhere and nowhere at once. Back on the Resolute, Mara prepared for the next step. It's time, she said. The galaxy needs to see our full capabilities, but not as conquerors, as humans. Lieutenant Harris raised an eyebrow. Full capabilities. Yes, Mara replied. The galaxy has forgotten who we are. They need to remember, and we will remind them with mercy. The humans' plan was simple in its genius. Across the galaxy, on strategically important worlds, humans demonstrated technology that no alien had imagined. Entire hostile environments were transformed in moments. Deserts bloomed with greenery, toxic oceans became habitable, and barren planets began to teem with life. All without a single loss of life, all without weapons fired. Alien scientists and leaders could not comprehend what they were witnessing. Structures that seemed impossible, energy flows that defied logic, fleets that moved as one entity, all executed without chaos, without cruelty. High Chancellor Alira of the Krell felt her knees weaken as she watched a human fleet appear over a dying planet. Within hours, the surface was thriving, cities reconstructed, breathable air restored, and ecosystems reborn. She whispered to herself, they do not need to fight, and yet they rule by action alone. In another sector, Admiral Krath watched as human engineers dismantled a massive weapon under construction, piece by piece, without a single explosion. The weapon, designed to annihilate entire fleets, now sat inert. Humans had neutralized it with precision and elegance. They could have destroyed us all, he said, his voice trembling. And yet they left it intact. Why? A young officer replied quietly, because humans do not need to destroy to dominate. Krath nodded, a new understanding dawning. He had read histories of humanity, how in their golden age they had always outsmarted superior forces, defeated countless enemies and reshaped entire civilizations. And now, after centuries of absence, they had returned in a way that proved nothing had changed. On the human flagship, Mara addressed her crew. Every civilization is watching, they are learning, and soon they will choose fear or respect. We will not push them, we will only guide them. Her crew, young and old, nodded. Humans had always led by example, not by force. They understood strategy, science, and psychology in a way that other species could not imagine. And now, every alien fleet was a lesson in human patience and intelligence. The turning point came in the central sector of the galaxy, where the Great Council convened. Humans had requested a meeting, not as aggressors but as witnesses, as arbiters of a new era. Ships of unimaginable scale hovered around the Council world, projecting holograms that displayed their achievements, their fleets, and their power. Council delegates whispered in awe and fear. The humans had not demanded anything. They had not threatened, and yet every representative felt the weight of their presence. Aelthar, the elder Zelvorian, finally spoke. They are showing us what it means to be human. Power without arrogance, strategy without cruelty, intelligence without malice. This is not war. This is mastery. A human emissary, Captain Mara Duval herself, stepped forward, her calm, smiling face projected across the holograms. "We return not to conquer," she said. "We return to guide, to observe, to help, to remind the galaxy what humans can do when they choose to lead." Her words carried confidence, simplicity, and undeniable truth. Every species in the room felt it. The aliens reacted in different ways. Some resisted, fearing human dominance. Some submitted, awed by humans' restraint and power. Some simply could not comprehend it. Across the galaxy, fleets stood down, weapons deactivated, entire governments paused, unsure of how to respond. Humans had accomplished the impossible. They had regained the attention of the galaxy, demonstrated their unmatched capability, and yet had caused no destruction. Their return was not violent, but it was legendary. Weeks passed. Human engineers traveled from system to system, helping rebuild planets, restore ecosystems, and teach civilizations advanced technology that could improve life across the stars. Humans were not gods, they were guides. But every civilization felt the unmistakable presence of genius, patience, and power. Admiral Krath, once terrified, now stood on the bridge of his flagship and spoke to his officers. "We have survived human observation," he said slowly. "And yet, we are better for it." They remind us of what civilization could be. Even the most skeptical scientists began to acknowledge it. Dr. Elara, the Krellian physicist, stood before her colleagues and whispered, "They are not cruel, not violent. They are human." And humans always find a way to change the game. At last, the humans revealed their final message. Across every communication channel in every corner of the galaxy, their words appeared simultaneously. "We are back. We are human. And we have smiled at the galaxy once more." It was not a threat. It was not arrogance. It was an invitation, and every species knew it. The galaxy looked up, and everywhere, alien children whispered stories of humans, the legends they had only heard in history, now alive before their eyes. Fleet commanders who had feared annihilation now marveled at the cleverness, mercy, and genius of humanity. Even after millennia, even after peace that had dulled the galaxy's awareness, humans had returned. Not as conquerors, but as a reminder that one species could think, act, and lead in ways no other could match. Captain Mara watched from her flagship as ships glided past distant suns, each one moving with the calm confidence that had defined humans for centuries. She looked at her crew and smiled. "History will remember this," she said softly, "not because we fought, not because we destroyed, but because we reminded them of what humans can do." Lieutenant Harris looked at her. "And what is next?" Mara's eyes gleamed. "Next, we explore. We build, we teach, we smile. The galaxy has remembered us, and now it belongs to every species that is willing to rise to the challenge." The human fleet formed one last symbol in space, an unmistakable, universal shape, a smile. It was not mockery, it was pride. It was confidence. It was the eternal spark of humanity, curious, clever, and unstoppable. The galaxy gazed in awe, and for the first time in 3,000 years it realized. The universe had returned to balance, and the species at the center of that balance was smiling.